You're welcome to Reflection with Nisinuga Reflections on this beautiful day, the last Sunday in the month of July 2025. I believe by God's grace, you're good, you're feeling good, and you're preparing well for the week ahead. I pray that the grace and the wisdom of God will come to help you to be able to enjoy and get the best out of this life we have to live. There's a short time to live, and there's a lot to do, a lot of impact to be made, a lot of lives to affect positively, a lot of joys to share, a lot of happiness to share. Welcome. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and reflect with me. Share your comments about the ideas we share. Remember that song by Kool and the Gang. Cherish the life we live. Cherish the love we share. Cherish. Cherish. So I cherish every time, every moment we spend together on this channel, because I get to be able to share with you part of the grace and the wisdom of God in this life that we live. So we'll be looking at marriage as I promised yesterday. Yesterday we look at steps to take to prevent or manage substance use abuse, or what's called drug abuse. Because in every relationship, any relationship, when this challenge comes up, it affects the well-being of that relationship. If any of the partners is involved in substance or drug use abuse, it's very detrimental to well-being. It affects joy, happiness, it affects almost everything. Almost everything. So it's better prevented. But if it has happened, then we look for a way out. That's to go for medical treatment and rehabilitation. So we're looking at marriage. All of you know already what marriage is, because I perceive you are likely to be married or preparing for marriage or looking at marriage, and you have seen some marriages around you. So marriage is a relationship between two consenting adults, male and female, mature, with parental consent, and the goal is to live together for growth and development, for betterment of each other's life, for greater levels of joy and happiness, and to be able to assist one another to make the best of this life we live. Marriage is a team sport, or let me say it's like a team sport in which we have shared mission, that is shared goals and objective. Because when you set up in any relationship, it's with a goal. So if you say, well, I like you like me, you love me, I love you, we like to get married, then what's the purpose? So that we live together. And live together and what? Live together to build a home. What kind of home? So you set out all those things. So we have shared vision, shared mission. In marriage, we also have shared values, because to achieve our vision and mission, there are things that we put into place. So our values need to align. We want to build a home, we want to live in a decent home, we want to live in such and such a place, we want to do this. But we want to do that or do all those things and achieve them within the law. We don't want to do it by hurting other people, because we want our home to be happy, because we want to establish this. You don't want to cut corners and do anything that is contrary to the law. So we have those values: positivity, principle of positivity, philosophy of goodness, and so on. Then we have shared lifestyle, because if we're in a marriage and we don't share lifestyle like your hobbies, your interests, and your activities. If those ones are not shared, if those ones are unitary, then there can be problems tomorrow. So, but when we have common hobbies, that is apart from say we're living together, we are working together. How do we take care of our recreation activities? How do we take care of our recreation times? So the shared activities, shared interests will help to take care of that. So I will now share with us some steps to take to ensure that we maintain happiness and joy in our relationship, in your marriage. And if you are working towards marriage with your fiancé and in courtship, these are some of the things you look into. I will just share 5 with us today. Akinpelu Johnson, you are welcome. Thank you for reflecting with me. Are you married now or are you planning to get married? And please, whatever we share now, let's have your comment so that we grow together. You know, life is a living school. We have University of Life. We all learn, we share ideas, cross-fertilization of ideas, inputs. Nobody's world of knowledge. Life is diverse. So please share your interests and your comment accordingly. So the first hint we shall give here is that always operate with a heart of gratitude and appreciation with your partner. Whatever your partner does, you have to know that he or she might have put some thoughts into this, might have put some effort into this. So you don't discount it. It's hurtful when you discount what your spouse has just done for you. Say, darling, I just bought this. I was coming from work and I saw this, and I know you like things like this, and I've just got it for you. And just say, couldn't you have seen a better one? Is this what you got for me? How much did you buy it? The issue, is not in the money. It's with the heart that says, I want to get these things for my darling, for my friend. And I've just, after putting all those things to consideration and making effort to procure it, bringing it and giving it to you, all you can just do is, please put it on the table or just drop it there. Can you imagine? Isn't it? Suppose that is done for you, how will you like it? So that's why he has cooked something. Maybe it's you that cooked it or your spouse did the cooking. Just to surprise for you, just come back from work and maybe you expected him or her to get home around a particular time. And for one thing or another, he was able to get home earlier before you. Or before the expected, they say, well, let me use this time to just get something and just prepare something. And you go to him and say, what's this you prepare? It's too salty, it's too watery. All you can do is just complain. Will he or she be ready to do such when he or she gets home earlier? Couldn't he or she have just sat down on the settee, stretch the legs, open the fridge, bring out cold juice and just take that with some snacks and say, well. So showing appreciation goes a long way to help to boost the joy and the happiness in a relationship, especially if it's in a marriage. Dominic, thank you for reflecting. You're welcome. Believe you're having a nice day. How is the weather over there? Where are you reflecting from? I'm from Nigeria, Ogun State, precisely. So number 2, always express the attitude of mutual respect. I perceive that you might have come across that statement long before now. Say respect is reciprocal. Respect is reciprocal. That even in our culture here, Yoruba land, we are of the opinion and of the belief that every human being deserves a measure of respect. Even your child, a child that was just born yesterday, deserves some measure of respect. You don't talk to that child, you don't treat that child anyhow. Even your servant, they deserve some level of respect. Talk less of your spouse, your fiancé. So knowing that everybody deserves some respect, so you once you express, once your spouse is aware that you always accord him or her the respect that is due to him or her, you can be sure that the joy and happiness and love for you will grow on daily basis. Yorubas have a statement to that effect, say, "Ọ̀wọ̀ díẹ̀díẹ̀ lára ń fẹ́." That is, the life that we live, our being, deserves some level of respect. So learn to give it that respect it deserves. So that's the second one. The third one, avoid taking each other for granted. Don't assume that is my wife, is my husband, or she's my wife, is my husband. I already know this, I already know that. You take it for granted, it can be very hurtful. It can be very hurtful. So don't take him for granted. If you want him or her to do something for you, why don't you tell him or say, "Darling, I'd like to do this for me," or keep something with you. Say, "Please, can you help me to hold this thing? It may, let's take some money. Please help me to keep this money. Is the money I was given, in a place of work, the business or product made extra sales, and the MD just decided to give us bonuses, and just can you please help me to keep it?" Because you know your spouse loves you and cares for you, and whatever you do, just once you just tell him or her, you just say, "Okay, darling," and kept this money with you in trust. And maybe some days or some weeks later, I say, "Okay, darling, what about," maybe she now sees something which she plans to do, maybe for the children and for the home. It's not part of the body plan, but this thing is something that has been desired. I know that this money can say, "Okay, darling, that money I care with you, can we use it together?" Say, "Which money?" "I spent it." "What do you use it for?" I say, I start to tell story, that time I said, we should go for a treat at that eatery, or you go for that picnic. It's the money I use now. Say, what? You took your spouse for granted, and that's not good. That's not good. So that kind of thing, it can happen in different other ways. I just use that one as an example. So the third step, which will be very good for the home, for relationship, is what is called the force of patience. I used to say that patience is a virtue. In Yoruba land, they say sùúrù ó lè ṣe òkúta jìnnà. That means the force of patience can cook stone to become edible for man to eat. It's just an illustration. That is, patience is so powerful that it can achieve the impossible if it's appropriately applied. So when you relate with one another, you need to be patient with one another. All of us are works in progress. We are evolving. Growth is continuous. Life and living is continuous. Wisdom is continuous. Knowledge is continuous. So don't expect to see everything about me. You can't know everything about me, and I can't know everything about you. But as we live with one another, we're going to evolve and become better. As we work to become better version of yourself. So we're all working towards that, to become better versions of ourselves. So you need to be patient with me as I'm growing, as I'm evolving. And you can assist me where and when needed. You can see that when you apply that to your relationship, to your marriage, it will be getting sweeter and sweeter. Say, darling, yes, I know. Say, hey, don't stress yourself. Just take it cool. I'm with you. What do you want me to do for you? In which way can I be of assistance? You're patient. Can you do this like this? Or you are sharing knowledge, you're sharing information, and your partner has not understood the concept very well. You don't need to lose control and say, well, I think I've tried enough. I've explained to you 1,000 times. I really can do that again. No. So do you want him or her to go to somebody else when you can do the job? But when you're able to express business, you see that at the end of say, hello, darling, thank you so much. That's why I love you so much. You understand me so much. You, you are the best thing that's ever happened to me. That's when he or she will be able to say that. So learn to exercise the force of patience in your relationship, not just once, but all the time. And God will give you the grace to make the best of it. The fifth one is that you need to be intentional in your maturity attitudinal relationship. So the attitude which you relate to one another. I know I said be patient. I said show mutual respect. I said avoid taking each other for granted. I said so operate always with the heart of gratitude. So in this case, there's a time to talk, like the Bible says in Ecclesiastes chapter 3. There's a time to talk, there's time to keep quiet. There's a time to show boldness, there's a time to be calm as a sheep. That's why the Bible says we should be as wise as the serpent and gentle as the. There's time you need to be gentle. Not because you are afraid, but because you know that if you say something at that material time when your spouse or your partner is disturbed or highly excited, you can turn things the other way you don't expect, you don't want. So the best thing you can do in that instance is to keep quiet. That is, say, speech is silver, silence is golden. So know when to keep quiet and sometimes know when to zip up. Just smile and just okay, I'm with you, I'm with you. Even though you could have said one or two things. With what I said earlier, with the force of patience and with your expressing maturity, there are some things you have to be tolerant of. You take something, you take some insult, you take something that is not to your advantage. If it will be to the advantage of your mission. Remember I said earlier that marriage is a shared mission, a shared vision. If you're keeping quiet, if you're absorbing that error, if you're bearing the insult or the what is not so favorable for you at that material time, if it will be to the joy and the well-being and the growth and development of your home and family, I think that's when you say it's maturity. Maybe, okay, let's say the common one. Maybe you are at the meal table and you say that your wife had been to the kitchen, she had been sweating trying to prepare that meal. And after she prepared, the thing became too salty, too peppery. And after all the effort, you just bring a table with excitement. Okay, let's eat. And now set the table. And by the time you take the first spoon, you shout, you spit it, say, number one, too salty, too peppery. How can I use the kind of thing? What kind of, what? And she had been sweating all along. For the last 30 minutes or 1 hour, she had been moving from kitchen to another, to places all over to us to make sure she prepared that thing for both of you to enjoy. Or maybe if you have children, even with the children to enjoy, and the children everywhere at the table. And you, as the father, as the husband, that's the best you could do. So imagine the other way around. Just by the time you take it, just say, okay, it's peppery. Just say, Chike, Titi, Bumi, what kind of thing? Can you please get me a cup of very cold water? This one is not cold enough. It's not getting it. Berlin, thank you. Thank you. I like this. Sip again. Take another spoon and take it with a smile on your face and give her the compliment. So imagine she now comes to the table, see the spoon in her mouth, and say, "Ah!" Say, "What is it, darling?" You didn't say it. This is it's too salty. I'm not. What's it? The pepper. What could have happened? In her excitement, in her desire to satisfy, to do the best, maybe she ended up, instead of using, we use these seasoning cubes. Instead of putting one, she mistakenly maybe put two, or when she was trying to put the salt, she, instead of using the teaspoon, she now said, okay, the thing has a spout, that to do, and the thing just so, so the salt inside the soup happened to now be more than, and incidentally, she didn't taste it before. She was just, because her excitement, she was also over the. So in that case, you can see, I would say, okay, what can I do? So your attitude will affect the children. If you take it with that compliment, so you see the children too will manage. But if you start to show expression, open your eye, start to do compliment, the children may follow suit. And where is the joy? Where is the happiness? Where is the shared value? Where is the shared, what we call corporate responsibility? So once again, marriage is shared vision, shared mission, shared value, and shared interest. Okay. So wishing you joyful and happy married life. Thank you so much. Thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and have a blessed week. Um, Before I sign off, let me just remind you the 5 points mentioned. Number one, always operate with the heart of gratitude with your spouse, whatever the case is. Remember, your spouse cares for you and have put in some effort in doing that which has been done. Number two, always express and operate with the attitude of mutual respect. Mutual respect. Number three, avoid taking each other for granted under any circumstance. Don't say it's my wife, it's my husband. I know him, I know I take this. No. You say you are taking me for granted. You are abusing my personality, you are abusing my person. Your spouse will tell you that. And because expressing is with majority, we just do it and smile without expressing anger. But you have hurt his or her feelings. So the fourth one is always relate with patience. Force of patience, patience is virtue. That's why in the Bible is one of the fruit of the spirit. Then finally, be intentional in your maturity, attitudinal responses to things and events that happen in the home. Very, very important. Once again, thank you for reflecting with me. God bless you.